Welcome to Galicia, northwestern Spain, and my name is Paulo de Carmo, and this is the A1 Padel Galicia Open. And as we see this beautiful drone shot over the Larez River in the beautiful city of Pontevedra, and the city Pontevedra named after exactly that bridge. Pontevedra in Latin meaning the old bridge linking the west, north and south of that river Larez for the citizens of what is now Pontevedra, an important city in the northwestern Spain, and we'll talk about that a little later. There we have the arena for our gladiators that are going to take part in this A1 Padel Galicia Open first semi-final. Today, we bring you the first and follow that up with the second semi-final of this A1 Padel Global Tour event. And on the cards, we have two mouth-watering semi-finals. We'll let the ring announcer tell you more about these protagonists. And this very first semi-final is going to be really a final in itself.
Protagonistas del primer partido de la jornada. Fueron finalistas en el Open de Chile y quieren volver a la lucha por los títulos. Comenzamos con una leyenda viva de este deporte. Busca seguir haciendo historia y ampliar su palmarés. Él es todo raza, pelea y pasión. Desde Neuquén, República Argentina, presentamos a Adrián Tito Alemandi.
As the ring announcer there calls Adrián Tito Alemandi, a living legend of the sport of paddle. Now a very young 42 years of age, as Tito, 43 apologies, as he walks on.
Su compañero es un jugador diferente. Quiere su primer título y no desea esperar más. Busca dominar el juego con su electricidad de definición. Con todos ustedes, un fuerte aplauso para recibir a Ramiro Pereira.
Alongside him, his partner, Ramiro Pereira, a young 25-year-old, virtually unknown on the paddle circuit till the beginning of 2024, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that going into the game. That's the first
Es
team
el turno ahora para los
and going to
mágicos,
be
la
taking
pareja que
on
domina la
none other than
competición
the
esta
number one
temporada.
pairing at the
Ganadores
moment on
de
the A1
4
Padel Global
torneos
Tour.
hasta este momento. Prepárense para disfrutar de la magia de este jugador diferente. Viene de Lomas de Zamora, tiene 26 años. Un fuerte aplauso para recibir al extraterrestre Leonel Tolito Aguirre.
Here we have him, Leonel Tolito Aguirre, the magician, the extraterrestrial as he's known. Certainly a very, very different player in the world of paddle.
Su compañero es el inventor de los golpes imposibles. Nació hace 28 años en General Cabrera, Córdoba, Argentina. Presentamos, restando en el revés, a Gonzalo Alfonso.
And alongside Tolito Aguirre, the current #1 ranked player on the A1 Padel Global Tour ranking, Gonzalo Alfonso, affectionately known as Gonza, and also known as the inventor of the impossible shot. And hopefully we'll see some of those during this game.
Honorio García.
And these two teams, really a semi-final worthy of a final itself. And you can see the players being called onto court there by the match umpire, and they'll go through the proceedings, final briefings from the umpire advising them of the match format. If you're unfamiliar, best of 3 sets with tiebreakers played at 6 all, standard tiebreak. First to 7 win by 2, and golden point rule will apply at 40 all at the due score. So that makes it many matches, many points decided with the penalty shootout of paddle. Here we have it in the blue, in the dark colors, Torito Aguirre. In the white cap, Gonzalo Alfonso. In the yellow on the other side, there we have Ramiro Pereira. And on the corner at the back there on the left, Tito Alemande. It seems the toss has gone the way of Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. Umpire will go back, leaves these players with a new set of balls. New balls will be introduced after 9 games and subsequently after 11. And those new balls, of course, Knox Titaniums. Knox, the official sponsor of balls on this A1 Padel Global Tour for 2024. Players will warm up now with these new balls. They'll do the customary, or in fact, regulatory 5 minutes. And once they've done that, then we'll get underway. There we go, the tail to the semi-final. And you can see there, Ramiro Pereira and Tito Alemande. 3 straight 2-set wins. Easy one in the first round of the Sainz and Vasco Pascual, 6-1 and 6-0. Then taking on Igor Ensland and Joaquin de Astoreca, also relatively comfortable, 6-3, 6-3. And then a little tighter against Alfonso Sanchez and Danny Blanco, 7-5 and 6-2. 3 2-set wins straight into the semifinals, whereas Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso not having it that easy. First round, Leonardo Yob and Danny Martinez, young up-and-coming stars, forcing a 3-setter there, and not everything their own way for Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. Then a relatively comfortable 6-1, 6-1 over Gonzalo Rubio and Mario de Castillo. And then yet another 3-setter, an epic 3-setter yesterday against Maxi Sanchez and Freddy Chiostri. 6-2, 2-6, and 6-4 in what looked like could have been a very tight third set. Here they are in the semi-final. You can see on your screen there the tail of the tape for Tito Alemande. This, of course, an all-Argentinian final. All 4 players from Argentina. There's Ramiro Pereira, number 16 in the world ranking right now on the A1 Global Tour. And you wouldn't believe it that at the end of 2023, Ramiro Pereira was playing qualifying rounds on the Euro indoor circuit, ranked over 60 on the A1 Padel Global Tour, now 16. And that, of course, after reaching 4 semi-finals, this their 5th of the year and 1 final. Not yet won a tournament, but of course this helps. And Tito Alemande, number 6, of course. There you saw you have Gonzalo Alfonso on screen, the current number 1. In the last win, his point tally took him over the line, over and above Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, who incidentally play in the second semi-final later today. And he's now the official number 1. He reclaimed his spot after having been the number 1 player on the circuit in 2022. There's our umpire, Mr. Honorio Garcia. He will keep law and order amongst our players, oversee video review calls, and make sure everything runs smoothly so that you, our esteemed spectator and fan, can enjoy the best padel can offer you. Of course, that best padel can offer you right here on the A1 Padel circuit. And Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso have really dominated this year. Played 6 tournaments, and those 6 tournaments have yielded 4 tournament wins and 2 semi-finals. They're looking to make it 1 more, and they've been doing it with a smile on their face. Here we have another beautiful shot of that riverfront of Galicia, and that riverfront runs into the Atlantic Ocean, that river Lerez, and that's history, a very important part of history here for this town. Once upon a time, in medieval times, a very important port in the region, and it is rumored that the Santa Maria was built in the port of Pontevedra. And for those of you who don't know what the Santa Maria was, that was the ship that Christopher Columbus sailed on as he looked to find the route to America. That's the Santa Maria. And of course, that estuary where the River Larez meets the might of the Atlantic Ocean. Weather conditions fairly good. You can see some interesting stats there from Gonzo Alfonso on your screen. And players go into the final warm-up. Umpire Garcia calls for final time, so you'll see the players spend their last minute or so on court. And you can see there Ramiro Pereira providing his opposite side player with some high lobs as players get their eye in. Ramiro Pereira lobbing the ball there for Tolito Aguirre. We're sending some cross-court bandejas into the corner. Players will come out now, and they will do final checks on equipment, check grips, taking some last-minute rehydration, and they'll be back on court. Underway, some beautiful shots of the crowd, and we see Coach Du our bench now.
De vez en cuando mírame. ¿Vale? Señores, vamos a ser protagonistas nosotros, ¿eh? En mitad. Ni mágico, ni extraterrestre, ni picha en vinagre. Alguno de los cuatro electrónicos. Se finí.
Escucha, en el entrada en calor le tiré 3 bolitas a la derecha con pared. ¿Sabes qué quise hacer? Hacer así, y hacer así, y pegarle con el canto.
Era lento, yo dejaría un poquito más por este lado y más a los dos acá, ¿eh?
Sí,
Paralelo y
sí. Dejamos de última en el medio para recuperar.
Y después, escuchá, de última, ahora
Eso es
juguemos
jalón,
con el globo bien cruzado o
Sí.
bien paralelo, igual, bien paralelo, bien cruzado, porque al final
Sí.
va con esta, de revés
Sí.
ya le cambia.
Después tenemos...
Si él va con la derecha, vuelve bien parado, yo creo que vos le escalonáis y yo me quedo a mi derecha, porque me juega mucho de mi derecha de entrada.
Dale.
Vamos,
Yo lo que iba a decir, arriba, cuando te tiren arriba a vos,
Sí.
que... Viste, Fede, te la vuelca y sí camina.
Sí, no.
Tito no te la vuelca, tira fuerte y no camina.
No,
O sea
ok.
que eso es positivo, o sea,
Sí,
sin
sí, sí.
apuro, digamos.
Sin apuro, vamos. Con los
apuro.
tiros de ustedes,
Vamos,
con los tiros de ustedes, ¿eh?
Sin apuro, pero acordate que cuando me quede medio fácil, yo le tiro pesada al medio o pesada cruzada.
Dale, sí, obvio. Yo también cuando
Para
quiero
moverlo,
coma, meto un poquito de presión.
Vamos, Ya nos va a enganchar la contrapierna y nos va a evitar, vamos papá, en la cara. Sí, nos sonreímos. Nos sonreímos.
Es un punto igual que el otro. Vamos, señores. Dami. Protagonista tú. ¿Eh? Lo que te salga del nabo como siempre te digo. Pero fúmate esta gente.
Players getting back on court to get this game underway, and of course, great relationship between Tito Alemande and Tolito Aguirre. Just 6 months ago, they were partners and were partners for the entire 2023 season and before that, and climbed to the number 2 spot in pairings on the tour. The change of partnerships has led to new horizons for Tito Alemande and certainly for Tolito Aguirre, who, together with Gonzalo Alfonso, a serious attack on the number 1 pairing position for this 2024 season. Gonzalo Alfonso individually already number 1, and Tolito Aguirre climbing fast. And although Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco as a pair still remain number 1, hot on the heels is Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. Crowd trickling into this wonderful Pabellón de Desportos de Pontevedra, the sports pavilion of Pontevedra, our host for this A1 Padel Global Tour. Tolito Aguirre to get us underway, and he does emphatically into the corner there. Well dealt with there by Tito Alemande. Change of direction by Ramiro Pereira as he slows the game down. Tito Alemande. So much knowledge of Tolito Aguirre's game, and he directs his efforts there. Goes for the power hit straight at the side wall next to Tolito Aguirre, and that ball comes back to his side of the court. Love 15 is the scoreline. Down the middle goes Tolito Aguirre. And Gonzalo Alfonso with that bandeja straight at Ramiro Pereira, and gets a little fortunate, a little lucky with that bounce off the top of the net. Gonzalo Alfonso comes across there. Goes cross court hard with a kick off the right-hand side. And ball out of court. 30-15 is the scoreline. Alfonso goes for the kick, doesn't quite get that kick right, and Ramiro Pereira with the big hit. Gonzalo Alfonso well positioned, ball bounces off the top of the fence. Gonzalo Alfonso runs into the net pole there and gets a little bruising. You can see here in your replay, as he comes across, he runs into a little bit of the fence. Oh, he doesn't actually, no contact whatsoever. Looks like he's pulled something there, and he's visibly upset with himself. Maybe a little bit of muscular discomfort. He's waving his arms around. 30 all is the scoreline. Gonzalo Alfonso likes to come across that middle line there. Likes to take control. Likes to attack both the cross court and the middle as he goes for very strong kicks down the middle. Keeps it a little lower as he goes to the corner often. 30-40. And we have a potential mini break right in the beginning here. Big slap there from Gonzalo Alfonso. And Ramiro Pereira with a reflex block. Can't quite get it over. Golden point. First game, first golden point, first break opportunity. A lot of firsts in the first game. And this, of course, the first semi-final meeting from these two. They have met in a final this year already, but not in a semi-final. Big bajada there from Gonzalo Alfonso. And good positioning from Rami Pereira, who returns the favor. Change of direction there, using the double wall from Ramiro Pereira. Alfonso leaves it a little short. Ramiro Pereira looks for the blind side of Tolito Aguirre. Doesn't quite get it. And the easiest of all the shots comes to Tito Lemande. Doesn't quite time it right. And clips the top of the net. First blood, Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. Well held there. Very under pressure to hold on to that serve. And if this first game is anything to go by, it's going to be an appetizing semi-final this. Players will switch sides here. It shouldn't take too long because not a lot of physical exertion. But Gonzalo Alfonso will be checking on his thigh or his groin, whatever it was that caused him pain there during that game. So we're going to expect him to delay a little coming onto court. There we have Alemande and Pereira already back on. And here come the other two. Alfonso striding out freely. So it looks like just a little niggle. Looks good. And we're going to get this underway as Ramiro Pereira, ball in hand, goes to serve. Love one down. No fear there, Ramiro Pereira. No fear whatsoever. Not intimidated by the number 1 and number 3 across the net from him. As he takes that short ball and powers it down the line to Gonzalo Alfonso. 15 all is the scoreline. Ramiro Pereira comes across. Elects not to go for the middle. Makes Tolito move sideways. Tito Lemande does go down the middle. Ball over carry slightly into the glass. 15-30. Tito Lemande, 2 elementary mistakes thus far. Hasn't quite got his eye in. Uncharacteristic of his. Doesn't make a lot of errors. And the one characteristic you are going to see is the Pereira Alemande communication. Has been so since the beginning of the year, as Tito Alemande embraces this mentorship role he has with young Rama Pereira. And lots of communication, lots of motivation throughout the game. You're going to see lots of that. Here they are talking to each other. And it seems to me that Rama Pereira is the one doing the motivation now, as Tito Alemande has his third unforced error almost in a row, but certainly at this early stage of the match. And with that, gives Aguirre and Alfonso 3 break opportunities earlier on in the game. Not something you want to be doing so early. I love there by Ramiro Pereira. Gonzalo Alfonso doesn't resist the temptation, goes big, but goes into the net. 30-40, still 2 break opportunities for the Aguirre and Tolito combination. And this time, there's no mistake there from Tito Alemande as he forces the golden point. And while we get ready for this golden point, feel free to go on our YouTube channel and to enter our poll. Who will win this game? And we'll publish some results throughout the commentary and see exactly where we are with this poll. And of course, that poll available throughout all the social media channels of the A1 Padel Global. Switch of ends there between Gonzalo Alfonso and Tolito Aguirre. Takes the pace of that bajada, does Gonzalo Alfonso. Of course, both these players comfortable on either side of the court. High lift there from Tito Alemande, and second golden point of the match, second game, and it goes the way of Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso, and you can see a little dejected there, the look on the face of Tito Alemande. Hard-fought point, lots of strategy in this point, lots of thinking, and here he goes, the beautiful lob, ball over carries and just clips the bottom end of the glass. 2-love as Gonzalo Alfonso goes to serve. All that scoreline there. And as we mentioned earlier, this online poll, current strong favorites is to win this tournament, not just this game. Gonzalo Alfonso and Tolito Aguirre, 64% from our Spanish viewing audience and 60% from our English-speaking audience. And of course, 40% on the English-speaking to Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, and 19% on the Spanish from the Spanish-speaking audience. Very little for the others, which doesn't augur well for Tito Alemande and Ramiro Pereira as we listen to the voice of the masses here, or for Juani de Pascual and Matias de Moral. Are we going to see an upset? They'll certainly be trying to do that. They're not in the semifinals for fun, and they didn't get here by not being good enough. but overwhelming favorites, not just for this match, but for the tournament. Here's Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. This time it's Gonzalo Alfonso's turn to go straight into the side fence. 30-40. And once again, the potential break opportunity for Aguirre and Pereira. Will they take advantage of it this time? Pereira goes high, and Gonzalo Alfonso goes for the kick. Doesn't quite finish off the point. Well defended, Tito Alemande. And Tolito Aguirre at the net. Well positioned after the cross cover there from Ramiro Pereira. And Tolito just powers that ball into the gap. You can see takes his time, looks for the gap, goes hard and low into the glass. Break point averted. Yet another golden point. 3 games played in this first semi-final. All 3 games led to a golden point. And at this point, Aguirre and Alfonso lead 2 games to 0. 2 golden points to 0. And it's now 3 games to 0. 3 golden points. Big match temperament to the fore there for Alfonso and Aguirre. Players will turn around. And as we see that replay there, and we're back. 3-0 lead Gonzalo Alfonso and Tolito Aguirre, but don't let the score line fool you. All 3 of these games having gone the route of golden point. The golden point, the penalty shootout of Padel. And not easy, although the score reflects a very, very easy lead thus far for this number 1 seeded pairing in this tournament. See there, beautiful executed bajada there from Tito Alemande, just over carrying, going straight into the glass. That's one of his 3 unforced errors in that second game. Alemande to serve. Pereira trying to push Gonzalo Alfonso. With a great defense there. Sends him back once again. Little dink over the glass. Well controlled, Gonzalo Alfonso. This time it's Tolito Aguirre. He says, Ramiro Pereira, you're too close. Ramiro Pereira tries to change direction, doesn't quite get it right. And goes into the net. You can see here he goes backwards, goes to the middle. As he comes, he tries to change direction and doesn't quite get it over the net. This, of course, this game you're watching right now, this semi-final, a replay of the final of the Chile Open in Santiago earlier on in the year, where these teams met in the final, the only final that Tito Alemande and Ramiro Pereira have been in this year. But of course, as I said before, this their 5th semi-final. So really good season for them, very consistent. Not as good, of course, as the Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso season, where they have won 4 tournaments and reached two semifinals. This, of course, one of those 2 semifinals so far in this A1 Padel Global 2024 season. Really the dominating pairing on the tour this year, cementing their position as the number 1 seeded pairing both this tournament and on the ranking. Alemande taking a step back there, goes for the big hit, changes direction, and goes into the fence. He's not happy with himself, Tito Alemande. A lot of unforced errors, very uncharacteristic of him. It's not something he does regularly. He's Mr. Consistency. There he goes, straight into that side tin. And you can see straight away his face as it turns. He's not a happy man. And not sure. Usually he's the man doing the uplifting there to Ramiro Pereira. Not sure Ramiro Pereira has enough upliftment repertoire in his knowledge base to get Tito Alemande over the line. And he's going to need to, as Tito Alemande struggles to find his best rhythm in this match so far. High left there from Tolito Aguirre. A lot of excellent control, in fact. Ramiro Pereira looks for the shorter Rulo. Follows it up, change of direction. Trying to take advantage of the switching positions there between Tolito and Gonzo Alfonso. And if he dropped that quick smash a little lower, Tolito Aguirre goes for the swivel at the net, goes straight into the net, doesn't quite get over. Let's see, here he goes for the swivel. And, he does get it over the net. He gets a fortunate bounce. And excellent there, Tolito Aguirre. And 4-0 is the scoreline. Yet another break. And the scoreline now, regardless of how many golden points we've had, which has been 3, looks commanding indeed in this first set. There goes Gonzo Alfonso with a big hit straight down the middle, trademark of late of his. And 15 love is the scoreline. First serve there of Tolito into the net. Double wall there, Tito Alemande. High ball there, Ramiro Pereira. Gonzo Alfonso takes the pace off that Rulo there. Lots of variation. And the shots, Ramiro Pereira straight down the line. Brilliant, Ramiro Pereira. Excellent shot. A Laduri shot. Sweet and tender, straight down the line. And Ramiro Pereira with the class of a maestro. Straight, a little tap down the line. And Tolito Aguirre just couldn't get up. Couldn't move his feet to get out of the way. Gonzo Alfonso comes across as he likes to do so often. This time, Tito Alemande takes control of that net. And he finishes getting into the feet of Tolito Aguirre. .30, the scoreline. This time, Ramiro Pereira gets the lob right, moves up well to the net, but goes straight into it with that ball. 30 all. 5-0 is the scoreline. Not where Tito Alemande and Ramiro Pereira want to be. We're going to listen to some coaches on the bench and see what strategies are going to be discussed in order to
En el
try
juego
and
anterior
turn this
nosotros
game
dos, cada vez que estáis saliendo firme por el lado de la volea derecha de cada uno, la bola viene, flota como su muerto, se ve hasta la marca Nox. En general, cuando estamos de fondo, que hemos jugado 2 o 3 bolas firmes por la volea derecha de cada uno, la bola que nos viene después de vuelta se le ve hasta la marca de la pelota. No somos capaces ninguno de los dos de pegar un paso para adelante y atacar ninguna de esas bolitas, ¿vale?
Los primeros puntos.
No te pegues tanto a la red y tócame toda la bandejita y camino, tócame toda la bandejita y camino. Pero yo creo que es... somos nosotros, Adri.
Claro,
somos
somos
nosotros.
nosotros.
Somos
Claro, somos
nosotros.
nosotros.
Somos nosotros.
Pero por eso no quiero
Somos
que no haga reaccionar.
Entonces, ¿cómo reaccionamos?
Moviendo las piernas,
Moviendo
siendo
las piernas,
agresivo.
yendo a buscarlo. Como he dicho, cada vez que le jugamos a la volea derecha, sea de Gonza o sea de Toli, la bola flota muchísimo. Se nos queda una bola para generar algo.
escucha, yo
Vamos a
pido una
generarlo,
sola cosa.
Adri. Dime.
Ramá, no juegues a que los flacos tiren la bola afuera. Porque no la tiran afuera y la tiramos nosotros primero fuera.
Sí,
Pues andar de atrás para adelante y chocar.
Pero vamos a hacerlo juntos, Adri. Vamos a hacerlo
claro,
juntos.
claro.
Pero necesitamos.
Le hizo bien esa.
Ahí por ahí, si te digo se cruza Rama, te la lío al pedo. Mejor te dije que se vino Tito y...
No, más vale.
Sí.
Está bien, se están hablando bien, hay que seguir, ¿eh?
Vamos,
Dale,
¿eh?
Vamos.
Un esfuerzo más.
Mantengamos el ritmo, dale. Ey, pero seguimos metiendo presión, ¿eh?
Sí.
No nos relajamos,
No,
seguimos
tenemos
metiéndole
que
presión,
dale.
aunque les cueste.
Vamos, ¿eh? Vamos a quebrar. Y si no quebramos, seguimos con el
Eso,
igual.
eso, dale. Vamos, Gonzalito. ¿eh?
Lots of head scratching there for Tito Alemande and Ramiro Pereira. 5-0 down in this first set. And not many solutions offered to the onslaught of Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. You can see there one of the highlight points of this match so far as Alfonso and Aguirre move both players to the one side of the court and finish into the blank space. Not just raw skill from Aguirre and Alfonso, a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking, a lot of game planning. Often what misses, game planning is often what's missing, particularly in the amateur world of paddle. 15 love. Alemande changes direction, goes to the corner of Torito Aguirre, who is awake to the change. And Ramiro Pereira doesn't quite get it high enough. Gonzalo Alfonso says, thank you very much. I'll take out my pen and pencil and draw you a picture. Boom, Dormilona into the ground, out of the court. Gonzalo Alfonso, no invention of an impossible shot there, but certainly creatively taking advantage of the shot left weak. 30 love, or love 30 rather. Alfonso steps up to the net, doesn't quite finish, 2 opportunities. Torito with a little bit more pace. Gonzalo Alfonso goes for the kick. Not a lot of power, but perfect execution out of court. And no chance there for Ramiro Pereira. 30-15 is the scoreline. They will not want to get a big fat 0 in this first set. Bagel, a donut, not in the Argentinian vocabulary. So they'll definitely look to get onto the board. Psychologically very important for both Ramiro Pereira and Tito Alemande. Ramiro Pereira moves up to line at the net and punishes the little cheekiness of Torito Aguirre into the side, double wall, a little bit less power. And 40-15 is the scoreline. They will desperately not want to have this 0 on their record. As Pereira goes to Aguirre. Changes direction to Gonzo Alfonso. Pereira trying to take the initiative. A lot of responsibility on these young shoulders. Trying to give Tito Lemande some respite. And this time, Tito Lemande gets out of the way. Rami Pereira into the ground, out of the court. And the crowd appreciates it, gets to their feet, and claps hands, and the 0 averted. 5-1 is the scoreline. There we are, Tito Lemande out of the way. Ramiro Pereira says, I got you, partner. And Gonzo Alfonso will now try serve this first set out. 5-1 up. And Tito Lemande is going to be thinking to himself, I can't wait to get the first set out of the way. Come back and fight again. Umpire Honorio Garcia asking for the crowd for some silence. Everybody ready now? Gonzo Alfonso down the tee he goes. And first blood, 15 love. Beautiful shot there, Rami Pereira, climbing high, aiming for the fence. A lot of creativity there. Gonzo Alfonso running the wrong way. To the air goes Tito Lemande. You see there Ramiro Pereira moving left and right, trying to take control of the game, taking the initiative. This is what partnerships are all about. When one of the partners is feeling a little bit flat, not exactly giving his 50%, and the partner steps up and does the balance. 30 all there, no possibilities there with that balance, as Gonzo Alfonso goes hard to the body of Lemande, who can't quite swivel and get it around. And here we go, going Ramiro Pereira. What a defense down the middle there. Goes for the big kick this time, Gonzo Alfonso, and gets it. But what defending, Ramiro Pereira. Big shoulders, young head, and look at that, big reach behind Tito Lemande. Tito really struggling to get going, and Ramiro really helping him out there. Almost lethargic, Tito, in some stages. Quite surprising, Tito in the shape of his life. Super fit, looking young, playing well, yet can't get his head around the play in this first set. 6-1 is the set as players go off court. We're going to take a brief commercial break. Tito Lemande is going to go and scratch his head, talk to his coach, and when they come back, we're going to bring you the second set of this enthralling first semi-final.
I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good.
Dejadita y la saca por la puerta. Maxi Arce.
You gon' wanna be just a little. Give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just run for your life.
Lo define así. No, 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 y no. Maxi Arce.
And we're back with you. And just when you thought Tito Alemandi and apologies, just when you thought that Tolito Aguirre and Gonzo Alfonso would be under physical strain, they produced a set like you see on your screen. Amazing statistics, and you can see the big differences there towards Aguirre and Alfonso. Unforced errors, a big difference there with Alemande being the big culprit there. Golden points 3-0, and numbers don't tell a lie. And if you thought that Tolito Aguirre and Gonzo Alfonso would be exhausted, perhaps a little fatigued, they did have 2-3 setters en route to the semi-final, as opposed to their opposition, who had 3 straight 2-setters, and that after having won the previous Open in Sanlúcar de Barrameda, and then having traveled to a first round of another circuit in Italy, then returning all the way back to Spain for this Galicia Open. You were wrong. It was on point they are, and it just proves that if you are in the zone, you're playing to form, you're fit and well focused. Doesn't matter whether you're on the beaches of Greece, hanging out in Clifada, or whether you're on court at the local paddle club training like there's no tomorrow. The ability and the dedication that these professional players show is going to get them over the line time and time again. Lesson to be learned there for all intermediates and amateur players to put in the effort. And there we see Tito Alemande allowing Rama Pereira to express himself, and Rama Pereira putting on a show, a defensive show there in this first point, and bagging the point. Well deserved, Rami Pereira. Thus far, effort player of the match. There should be, instead of just the MVP award, there should be an biggest effort player award, BEP. We should start something like that, the A1 Paddle Tour awarding a best effort player award at the end of each tournament or each match. Rami Pereira goes down the middle there. Tolito looks for the lob, but Tolito and Gonzo Alfonso can smell the unsettledness of Tito Alemande, and they're looking for sure to exploit him. You can see when they can, they change directions and force Tito into action. Rami Pereira doing a lot of running. Right to the air there, and that lob edges the bottom end of the glass. 15 all. Great rally there. Tito Alemande seems to be on a road trip to nowhere, and he'll be wanting to stick his finger out and get a lift from Rami Pereira, and Rami Pereira able to, but only so much, as Tolito Aguirre and Gonzo Alfonso in decisive mood. As we said, lots of traveling for them lately, and these 2-3 setters, now that they've won this first set 6-1, they smell blood. They'll want to get this over and done with, stop the fight back. There's a great example of Rami Pereira's fight as he comes across. This time that Pajadaviz goes slightly over-carried, puts the power behind it, and goes straight into that back glass. Not ideal, close, but not quite. 15-30. A little bit long, that's first serve. Tito Alemande defends well once, twice, but not the third time. 15-40. 3 break opportunities once more, yeah, for Aguirre and Alfonso. And This time he can't quite get there. See that on your screens. Aguirre using the wall there to get lift on that return lob. Monday puts a little bit more power. Tolito Aguirre equal to the task. Well, indeed, Rami Pereira well blocked. This time goes for the ruler over his head, straight into the net. Break on, early break. And players will go off court. Quick switcheroo. And when they come back, Aguirre and Alfonso will look to take advantage at this early stage. And you can see there with coaches Tito Alemande and Coach Zeus in deep conversation as Tito Alemande looks for solutions, looks for advice.
Cada uno su golpe de seguridad porque ahora mismo no tenemos ningún tipo de confianza, Adrián. Tu golpe de seguridad en cada bola. Y para también otra cosa que bola ya, no, ya te diga este. Da igual.
Players back on court. And Tolito Aguirre will serve 1-0 up in the second set after taking the first by 6 games to 1. If you've just joined us, my name is Paulo de Carmo here for the A1 Padel Global Tour English commentary session. And this, the first of 2 semi-finals today for this A1 Padel Galicia Open. Tolito with a trademark boast off the top of the glass on the right-hand side there. And Alemande, of course, having played with him so many years, equal to the task. Defends well, rally building up solidly here. Alemande looking a little bit steadier. Goes for a high, fake smash there by Gonzo Alfonso. Rama Pereira equal to the task. Here comes the bajada. Well defended Tito Alemande. This time Tolito goes for power. Rami Pereira, well played, Rami Pereira. Tolito goes for the kick. And the defense. And defends again. Rami Pereira is having the game of his life despite the scoreline. Now switched positions with Tito Alemande. And Tito Alemande with the unforced error, and Rami Pereira dropped his head, almost signaling, what else do I have to do? Tito, road trip, no more. Come on. Venga, venga, let's go. You can see there how Rami Pereira gets that back. Leaves that one short, does Tolito Aguirre, and Rama Pereira with the finish. 15-all is the score line. Games like this, the popcorn doesn't quite pop. Not enough time. Frenetic pace to this first semi-final of the day. This, of course, the first semi-final of the Pontevedra Galicia Open. And where's Pontevedra, you say? Province of Galicia. Yes, that's lovely. Julio Iglesias said it was un canto a Galicia, but that is in the northwestern coast of Spain. Beautiful town, well known for its 12th and 14th century architecture, lots of monasteries, a beautiful basilica in the center of town, the Basilica de Santa Maria de la Mayor, and a city globally known for its pedestrianization and its urban planning, a city where the old town has virtually no motor cars, a leader in Spain and Europe in the reduction of motor emissions, and all this, of course, benefiting pedestrian life. Beautiful white sandy beaches, and as I mentioned earlier, famous history just where the River Larez connects to the Atlantic Ocean, and of course where it is rumored The Santa Maria, the ship that Christopher Columbus took to discover America, was built. And that was a very, very long time ago. Right now, though, no Christopher Columbus, but we do have Tolito Aguirre as he finalized that point there and goes 40-30 up. High lob there. And Tolito and Rama Pereira comes across, takes control, and forces the golden point. Now, all the golden points so far in this match have gone the way of Aguirre and Alfonso. Is this going to change, or are we going to see a little bit more of the same? Soft serve. The lift there from Rama Pereira makes Gonzalo Alfonso run. Tries to go over his head. He comes back with a vibro into the corner. Tolito Aguirre takes advantage of that short rise there from Tito Alemande and punishes it straight across. Yet another golden point. The way of, there's that finish. Tito Alemande, too short. What are you doing? And 2-0 the scoreline. Yet another golden point the way of Aguirre and Alfonso. At the change of ends there, or really no change of ends, just a little bit of hydration and drying off racket handles. Of course, introduction of new balls. It is 9 games. Tito Alemande doesn't even leave the court. The body language is there. And if you're a betting man, you'd be running to the bookmakers and emptying out your wallets on a Gonza Alfonso Tolito Aguirre win right now. The online poll showing them 64% as winners. The opinion of the masses showing them as 64% favorites to win this entire tournament. And if you haven't had your say, go onto our YouTube channel, either on the live broadcast in English or in Spanish, and click on your vote there as to what your wisdom would be as you contribute to the wisdom of the masses. Love 15 is that scoreline as Alemande serves to Gonzalo Alfonso. Tries to finish there, Tito Alemande. Gonzalo Alfonso equal to the task. And Alemande thinking, what else do I have to do? Getting in the way there, Rami Pereira comes across to aid. Goes high, trying to buy some time. Alfonso straight down the middle. Tolito Aguirre steps across and slice volleys that straight down the middle into the back glass and slipping into the ground. Here we go. Here's the lob. Tito Alemande tries to finish. Doesn't quite get it right. Alfonso equal to the task. There's Tolito Aguirre coming across the middle with that slice volley. And you can see the look on his face. It's a look of satisfaction. He wants this. He wants this more than anything. He wants to join his friend and compatriot Gonzalo Alfonso as at the top of the number 1 rankings. He wants to be part of the number 1 ranked team. And he wants to win this tournament. He wants to win as many tournaments as he can. That is Tolito Aguirre. A winner in every sense of the word. 15-30 the scoreline. Crowd rising for that point. And there we have Ramiro Pereira once again defending like his life depends on it, but just not enough. He needs the support, and Tito Alemande not providing it. Another 3 break points here. Pereira left and right, taking the pace off the ball. Gonzalo Alfonso able to drop shot that. Pereira equal to the task this time. Alemande, no. Rami Pereira doing all the running, all the hitting, and really commanding performance here for Aguirre and Alfonso. They've unsettled Tito Alemande. They've literally disrupted that defensive icon, beacon of hope that is Tito Alemande, and now just the young, all heart Rami Pereira fighting them, and that plays into their strategy, plays into their domineering performance. And after that commercial break, we're back on there, and remiss for me not to remind you, straight after this tournament, players on a plane and to one of the cradles of paddle in the world, La Rioja. As we see go through some of those highlights, there's one of those big hits of Tito Alemande going straight into the fence. La Rioja, Argentina, 29th of July, 4th of August. And of course, you'll be able to catch all the action by keeping abreast of goings on by following the A1 Paddle Global social media handles, be it Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And of course, this new innovation, semifinals and finals, available in English, Spanish commentary by my esteemed commentary colleagues, right from the first round through to the finals. Gonzalo Alfonso on serve to Tito Alemande, 3-0 up in the second set after having taken the first set by 6-1. A domineering performance here by the world number one player, Gonzalo Alfonso, and what could be the world's number one pairing in a very short period of time. Really commanding performance here. Opposition not to be sneered at. But all the questions have an answer when they're opposed to Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. First time in a very long time that we see Tito Alemande going to Ramiro Pereira. It's been the other way around for the greater part of this match, as young Pereira has been trying to uplift Alemande in his game. Alemande now possibly feeling a little bit more positive. It is a tall order, a high ladder to climb as it stands, and would be one of the performances to go down in the history of A1 Padel Tour, were Pereira and Alemande to come back from this scoreline. Pereira finally getting to move up after umpteenth shots in defense. Pereira leaves that a little bit short on the lob as he tries to get it off the glass. Perhaps he shouldn't have gotten that ball. Tito Alemande signals him to come and get it, despite the fact that, there he goes, there's the signal. Alemande should have turned back and come and gotten that. And that lob left a little short. Gonzalo Alfonso says, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Gracias. Grazie mille. And takes a big hit into the glass and back to his side of the court. 30-15 is the scoreline. Four love, the scoreline now. And you can see there, Tito Alemande on his way to fetch the balls at the center of the line. Head down, racket down. You can just see there a picture of a dejected paddle player. Not sure conditions are affecting him. The weather today, 23 degrees. No precipitation whatsoever, but a slight breeze, 14 kilometers of wind. And partially cloudy, so not too much direct sun on the court. It is a 55% wind factor. But, you know, in this pavilion, not a lot of those conditions tend to come through, particularly the wind. So, you know, almost a semi-indoor facility with just a small opening. So, yes, affects conditions, but not entirely. Just an off day, perhaps. That serve slightly long. Umpire calls that as a fault. A lot of pace there on that vibra there from Rami Pereira. Slightly slower this time. Change of direction from Alemande. Goes over the head of Tolito, who fakes the bajada cross court but goes down the line. Clips the top of the net. 15 all is the score. And this time, good choice there. Good choice of shot there, Ramiro Pereira. Comes across, fakes the big hit, takes the pace off it, and the bounce bamboozles Gonzalo Alfonso completely, who goes for the lob and overcarries into the side glass. Into the net goes Tito Alemande once again. 30 all. Pereira serves into the corner. Tolito Aguirre, the return into the middle. Rami Pereira comes, gets the first one, gets it across, gets the second one. Tries to buy himself some time, getting closer to the middle, but gets it into the net. No good that. 30-40. 2 more break opportunities here for Aguirre and Alfonso. Serve a little bit too long into the corner as Pereira tries to go deep into the quadrant. Goes for the rulo. Tolito Aguirre awake to it in the center of the court. Now tries to put Alemande on the back foot. And he does indeed, as Alemande goes to the fence. And players will go off court. And it's 5-0. And once again, Alemande and Pereira find themselves trying to avoid that big fat zero that psychologically affects so many racket sports players. And as the players take a break, we're going to try and listen to what the bench.
No lo sale. No lo sale.
No pasa nada.
No lo sale.
No pasa nada. No pasa nada. El problema es que no lo podemos ni utilizar para aprender. Es que ni utilizar para aprender podemos estar. No podemos utilizar ni este partido para aprender.
No, porque nosotros de este partido no vamos a sacar nada de positivo
No,
ni negativo.
por eso.
Porque si tú dices...
Hay que entrenar, o sea, no podemos ni poner en marcha cosas que no tienen nada que ver con la pelota, con los golpes. Entonces...
¿Qué sientes, la mitad?
¿Eh?
Siento. No ves esto negro. No ves.
Vamos ahora, dale. Bien los dos, ¿eh?
Tenemos la oportunidad ahora, Va, Va.
Vamos gordo, Vamos. Cierra Caleo,
Vamos, gordo.
Vamos, animal, Vamos, Gonzalito. Ya lo cerramos. Dale vieja, ¿No salió?
Igual, lo que estás diciendo, el problema para mí es la interpretación. No te vayas. Porque te pregunta qué sentís y vos le estás diciendo las cosas están pasando.
KK, the beautiful new A1 paddle, Joma or Joma, whatever you pronounce it, however you pronounce it. Beautiful paddle shoe there, developed for players by Joma, the technical partner of the A1 Paddle Global Tour for the 2024 season. And that shoe worn by several players on tour right now, including one Mr. Lionel Tolito Aguirre there on the right of your screen. This time it's Rami Pereira goes into the back glass. 15-love as Tolito Aguirre looks to serve out this match. 6-1 up in the first set, 5-0 up in the second set. Now 15-love, and in what has been an emphatically dominant performance here by this pairing, this new number 1 pairing of Tolito Aguirre and Gonzo Alfonso. And they'll want to finish this up quick and easy, get back to the hotel, their accommodation, and get some rest. They will have booked themselves a place in tomorrow's final, the final, and it'll be their 6th final of the year, and they'll be looking to then try and make it their 5th tournament winner of the year. Of course, at stake tomorrow, the big chunk of the 130,000 euro prize money on offer in this A1 Paddle Galicia Open. You can see there the look on Tito Alemande's face. Dejected, shaking his head, not able to really work out what's gone wrong here. A lot to do with his performance today. Young Rami Pereira really stepped up and has tried. Difficult to play players of the caliber of Aguirre and Alfonso when your partnership is not at 100% full steam with both players. Gonzo Alfonso there, change of direction to the feet of Pereira, and we have a potential game, set and match point opportunity. which goes awry there as Gonzalo Alfonso goes into the net. Tolito Aguirre still 2 game, set and match opportunities. And there we have it, as that return by Rami Pereira goes high to the air, hits the bottom end of the glass, with game, set and match. Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso in dominating that in general. Football has been dominated by the magician, 6-1 in 6 rounds. And you see that Alfonso, Football didn't hang around for commiserations. He walked straight off that court after congratulating his adversaries. And Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso into tomorrow's final, 16:30 local time, Central Time, 16:30 Spanish time, local time, and 17:30 British time. Able to watch that final. So the first semi-final of the day out of the way. Second semi-final coming up. Another mouth-watering contest where we find the former number ones now looking to regain their number one spot. Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, where they will take on the number 5 seed Juan de Pascual and his new partner Matias de Moral. Mouth-watering in itself, that matchup. The former number ones not at their best, and Juan de Pascual starting to play the type of paddle that has made him one of the most exciting prospects in paddle throughout the world. Another all-Argentinian semi-final coming up. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, the second semi-final of this A1 Padel Galicia Open. There's the set summary, and you're going to see there golden points, again, the way of Aguirre and Alemande. Unforced errors, once again, a big no-no for Alemande and Pereira. Overall match summary, the numbers don't lie, and a dominating performance, as we've said, over and over again by Aguirre and Alfonso.
Bueno, los mágicos ya están en la final de este Galicia Open. Tolito, victoria contundente. Se nota que teníais ganas de estar en la final.
Bueno, buenas tardes a todos. Como digo siempre, jugar en España es muy lindo. Muchas gracias a todos los que vinieron. Creo que hoy hicimos un partidazo, mostramos nuestro nivel. Obviamente los chicos no jugaron como venían jugando. Por eso nos permitieron sacar la diferencia, pero nada, nosotros nos quedamos con todo lo bueno que hicimos en nuestro juego y esperemos que mañana sea igual.
Gonza, desde que hemos empezado la temporada habéis estado en todas las finales y mañana sumamos otra.
Bueno, muy buenas tardes a todo el público. Muchas gracias por venir. Saludo también a toda la gente de Argentina que nos sigue. La verdad que sí, lo mismo que me acuerdo que te decía en Sanlúcar. Tenemos que valorar muchísimo esto. Estamos pasando en un momento increíble, estar en todas las finales. La verdad que es el lugar a donde todos los jugadores quisieran estar. Creo que para eso nos juntamos con Leo, pero siéndote honesto, no lo creíamos seguramente que podía ser tan perfecto todo esto. Así que nada, el partido de hoy fue súper raro. Es como nos decía el coach, no crean que no están haciendo nada porque al final sí, ¿viste? Estábamos jugando creo que un poquito bien y los chicos no creo que jugaron a su nivel, así que por primera vez fue una victoria sin sufrir.
Bueno, y a lo mejor quedan más, ¿o no?
¿Cómo?
Que a lo mejor más adelante también hay victorias así.
Bueno, ojalá.
Ojalá.
Por mí todas.
Bueno, sí, te dejo.
Solo quería mandar un saludo a mi tío Pablo, que hoy es su cumpleaños. No lo saludé a propósito, le quería dedicar la victoria. Un abrazo.
Y ahora, como os digo siempre, al final de cada entrevista, un pasito menos para a lo mejor convertiros en la pareja número 1.
Estamos, sí, lo que te decía recién, hay que valorarlo, porque estar siempre a un pasito, por más que no se logre, es muy difícil llegar ahí. Así que a valorarlo y a mañana vamos a cumplir ese objetivo.
Y Tolito, me imagino que os vais a quedar a ver contra quién jugáis mañana.
Primero vamos a seguir haciendo la tarea, vamos al fisio y dejamos que vea tranquilo el coach el partido.
Gracias, chicos. Enhorabuena. Y hasta aquí la palabra de los mágicos.
And in that interview there, Claudia Navarro there speaking to both Tolito and Gonzalo Alfonso. Tolito highlighting that what a great victory this was and what a perfect match it was, and highlighting the level at which him and Gonzalo Alfonso are playing as a partnership, and hoping that tomorrow will be more of the same. Gonzalo Alfonso really surprised at how well they won this, calling it a perfect performance. He well aware that this is not an easy pairing to win, and certainly not so emphatically. So very cognizant that this is a once-off type of result, and embracing every little bit of. As we go through these last bit of highlights, here we're going to bid you farewell, allow you a little break to get some refreshments as we get ready for what will be yet another humdinger of a semi-final, where we put up Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco against Juani de Pascual and Matias de Moral. In that, the second semi-final of this A1 Padel Galicia Open. We bid you see you later, and we hope that you'll be here to keep us company as we watch paddle of the best kind, that which A1 Padel brings to you. Welcome back to Galicia, Spain, Pontevedra, and at more specifically the Sports Pavilion of Pontevedra, where they are so graciously hosting the A1 Padel Galicia Open. And if you have just joined us and missed the first semi-final, Tolito Aguirre and Gonzo Alfonso, definitive and decisive winners over Tito Alemande and Ramiro Pereira, 6-1 and 6-love. Believe it or not, the correct scores.
Vamos ya con la presentación de los protagonistas de la segunda semifinal del Galicia Open.
Nevertheless, we're going to leave you to the ring.
Son la tercera mejor pareja y quieren llegar a su primera final de la temporada. A pesar de su juventud, tiene un palmarés envidiable. Nació en Pergamino, en la República Argentina, hace 19 años. Juega en la posición de drive. Recibimos con un fuerte aplauso al Niño Maravilla, Juani de Pascual.
Great talent there coming on court. Juani de Pascual, 19 years of age, from Argentina, and one of
a su lado un jugador muy versátil. Tiene 25 años, nació en La Rioja, en Argentina. Ocupa el puesto 19 en el ranking. Presentamos, restando en el revés, a Matías del Moral.
His past partner there, Matías del Moral, also from Argentina. A creative
Sus rivales son desde hace más de 2 años los reyes del circuito, la mejor pareja de A1 Padel. Viene desde Salta, República Argentina, tiene 25 años, juega en el drive. Recibimos con un fuerte aplauso al embajador salteño, Maxi Arce.
The former number 1, now currently number 2 player on the A1 Padel Global Tour ranking, the professional Maxi Arce, the king of the Bajada.
Su compañero nació hace 24 años en Quilmes, República Argentina. Le apodan el francotirador por su eficacia en el remate. Presentamos, restando en el revés, a Franco Talbianco.
And to the left of Maxi Arce, the sniper, the so accurate finisher, Franco Del Bianco, also hailing from Argentina, long time
El
partner of
árbitro del
Maxi Arce.
encuentro es el internacional portugués Nuno Moreira.
So, yet another all-Argentinian semi-final here for this A1 Padel Galicia Open. And we have Maxi Arce, Franco Del Bianco in the all-blue. And they'll be on the side of the court closest to us. Matias de Moral in the orange. And Juani de Pascual also in the blue alongside him. Juani de Pascual, of course, left-handed. But will be playing on the right-hand side as a drive player. Matias de Moral, who traditionally has played on the drive side, will be on the revés. And Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco in the usual right and left. There we have umpire Nuno Moreira, all the way from Portugal, who will be officiating this second semi-final. And doing the coin toss there with the players. Looks like Maxi Arce has won the toss, taking the balls there from umpire Nuno Moreira. And those balls, of course, new balls from Nox Titanium, the official ball of the A1 Padel Tour for the 2024 season. Players will warm up, go through their regulation 5-minute warm-up period with these new balls. And once they do that, they'll come back do final adjustments on equipment and refreshments, and then get back on court to get us underway. The route to the final And you can see there on your screens, Maxi, Arce, and Franco Del Bianco. 3 straight 2-set wins, 6-2, 6-5 over Goni and Sola, 6-2, 6-2 over Maldonado and Lopes, and 6-4, 6-3 over Javier Perez and Juan Pablo Andrade to book their place in the semi-final. Juan Pascual and Matias de Moral started off reasonably easily, 6-1, 6-1 over Marc Monet and Joaquin Florenza, then 6-4, 6-4 over Joaquin Gaitan and Fabrizio Perón. Then Lily Cup playing much stronger opposition, 7-6, 3-6, and a commanding 6-2 against Agustin Torre and Diego Ramos, finalists in the previous San Lucar de Barrameda Open. So big result there from Juan Pascual and Matias de Moral, and they now face their biggest test of the tournament, facing the former #1 players, Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, in the second semi-final of the tournament. See there some stats. Juan Pascual, #5 ranked player, and previously having played 2023 season with Gonzalo Alfonso, the now #1, 19 years of age, and one of the exciting talents, using his left-hand power on the right-hand side of the court like very few do. And Matias de Moral, the #19 ranked player, 25 years old, also from Argentina, and great defensive player, able to finish when required, and despite his appearance, extremely athletic on court. Really another young prospect, been on circuit for some time right now, but hasn't quite found the right partner. And there we have Maxi Arce, very professional, very accurate, minimal mistakes in his game, the king of the bajadas, #2 player. Not happy that he's lost his #1 spot. Spoke to him earlier this week, and in true professional style, telling me about how much hard work, how much extra training he's putting in. Both him and Franco Del Bianco want to be back on that podium, their #1 spot. Disappointing season in a way if you compare it to the previous season. There's Franco Del Bianco, similar type of points. If you compare the two last season, certainly disappointed, where they won 6 tournaments, and this year having played 6 already, 1 tournament win, 1 second, in other words finalist, 1 semi-final appearance, 2 quarterfinalists, and 1 poor performance, having only reached the last 16. So by their standards, not great. Of course, most people would lick their lips at a CV such as that for the season. And Juan Pascual and Matias de Moral, of course. Juan Pascual, the 3rd semi of the season, semi-final. 2 of those with his previous partner. He started the season off playing with Agustin Torre after having split up with Gonzalo Alfonso at the end of 2023. While Matias de Moral, a regular last 16 player so far this season. 2 tournaments under the belt as a partnership. Juan Pascual and Matias de Moral been played together at San Lucar Barrameda, and they have reached the last 16 of that, and they'll be looking to go already into the semi-finals here. So they'll be looking to cement this performance, perhaps cause a little upset. Of course, Maxi Arce and Franco Bianco, the overwhelming favorites for the match. But it'll be no walk in the park, and I certainly, as your commentator, do not expect an easy ride like the previous semi-final, where Alfonso and Tonito Aguirre ran away with it. This expect a much more competitive type of match. The players, De Moral and Pascual and Franco, going through their last stages of their warm-up. Umpire Nuno Moreira has already called for time. They've probably got about a minute left. There's those beautiful A1 Padel Homa shoes. Go visit your local stockist or go onto the A1 Padel Global Shop website, where you can purchase these shoes online. Really beautiful, well branded, and of course technologically advanced paddle shoes designed for players by players. Quite a few of the players on tour wearing them. Juan Pascual will be one of them. You can see him there throwing that high lob there to Franco Del Bianco. The beautiful city of Pontevedra, here in Galicia. And on the waterfront there, the river. There it is. That bridge there, the Pontevedra, been around since the 12th century, or in fact since Roman times, but most of the iconic architecture in the town hailing from the 12th and 14th century. And it's from that history where once upon a time, in medieval times, Pontevedra was an important port in the region, where it is rumored that the Santa Maria was built. Santa Maria, of course, the ship that found its way to the Americas, to the new continent, under the hands of one famous Christopher Columbus. So a little bit of history there for you. Just down the road, also the beautiful white sandy beach, Praia de Areias, the sandy beach. If you're ever out this way or you are in the vicinity, a beach to visit, particularly at this time of the year, where the sun is hot and temperatures are risen.
Claro, ¿verdad?
Pontevedra also renowned for its pedestrianization.
Somos más que ellos, tenemos que ser inteligentes.
Ellos presionan mucho con la bola. Defiendo bien agachadito.
Vamos. Dale con todo, que este perdido.
Todo el mundo está hablando de vos. Todo el mundo literal está hablando de vos. Seguí mostrando.
Dale, macho, vamos. Sacan ellos, ¿no?
Sí.
Suelto. Acuérdense de ser valientes. Cuando nos metemos.
Trato concentrado, los unidos. Vamos, pierna. Gana y ganar.
Coaches providing last-minute advice there to their players.
¿Ok?
¿Pasa una agüita?
Players will now get on court. Away.
Lo individualizamos rápido, si no, lo digo yo de acá.
Familiar.
¿Ok?
Match format, best of 3 sets with tiebreakers played at 6 all. Those tiebreakers standard, first 7, win by 2, and golden points played at 40 all. Golden points, of course, the penalty shootout of Padel, with the receiving team electing for who receives the balls. I'll start off with new balls. Maxi Arce will start serving from the right-hand side to Juan Di Pascual, and he's going to get us underway. Stay with us. Hopefully you are comfortable in your chair and enjoy the best that Padel has to offer. Away we go. First big lob. Franco Del Bianco tries to punish, doesn't quite get it right, and Juan Di Pascual says, hello, thank you very much. The swivel turn into the ground and out of the court. Love 15, the scoreline. And Juan Di Pascual will be showing, or trying to show, the Padel fan base that Juani hasn't gone away. He's still the most promising 19-year-old on the World Padel Circuit. Franco Del Bianco there going down the middle, trying to take some pace off. As Juan Di Pascual is equal to those driving vibras of Maxi Arce. This time he over pushes one, and 15 all is the scoreline. Arce with a change of direction there to De Moral, goes for the ruler. Well defended there by Juan Di Pascual. Here's De Moral making sure he gets enough on that to force Del Bianco backwards. Well defended Juan Di Pascual. De Moral leaves it short. Franco Del Bianco says, thank you very much. Into the ground, out of the court. Puntaco, banga banga. Excellent build-up, strategic point that was. You can see the comes short there, and Franco Del Bianco hops to the ball, directs his racket downwards into the ground with a flick of a wrist and out of the court. 30-15. Libera there from Arce, once, twice, using the double ball, making sure Juan Pascual stays behind, stays at the back. Here's the bajada. This time he doesn't go across court. Bianco comes across. And Maxi Arce, a little bit heavy-handed there with the attempted ruler into the fence. 30 all. A little bit too much strength there from Arce. Changes direction. Demoral equal to the task. Goes again the way of Demoral, leaves it short. And this time Arce to the feet of Juan de Pascual as he's moving forward. 40-30 is the scoreline. Interchanges in this early stage of the match have been very competitive as predicted. Beginning of this match, a much more competitive encounter than the previous semi-final. And as players feel each other out, we're seeing a lot more exchanges. In saying that, in the previous semi-final, first 3 games all went to golden point. So they were very competitive until the wheels came off for both Alemande and Pereira. Golden point we have, and a potential break opportunity here early on in the game for De Pascual and De Moral. And Maxi Arce and Del Bianco will not want to be at a disadvantage so early on in the first set. Pascual leaves that one a little too short, perhaps a little too eager to get to that one. And under hits that smash. He thought he had finished the point. You can see he doesn't quite pull it off. And Maxi Arce well positioned into the ground and out of the court. Well held Maxi Arce, 1-0. You can see there he's a bit euphoric about that at such an early stage of the game. But important not to drop your serve so early. 1-0. Players will have a quick turnaround now. Still early stages. No big exertions. No big fatigue. And players will come back up. Juan de Pascual will serve. Love one. First set. Second service. Love 15. Love 30. Juan de Pascual for the second time in a row into the net. This time that perfect serve into the block hole there, just off the glass. Maxi Arce with a return, overpowering it straight into the back glass. 15-30. Roll high lob there. Bajada from Maxi Arce. Goes for the rulo. Gets the right bounce. Franco Del Bianco. Juan Pascual uses the back glass to defend that. And Franco Del Bianco ready at the toss. You can see here. Off the glass. Del Bianco with a big hit. So precise. Hence the nickname the sniper. Gets the appropriate lift. Out of reach from Matias de Moral. And back to his side of the court. 3 early break points here. Aggressive play there. De Moral and Pascual at the net. Good control. Well played. Forceful attacking. Retrieve one of those break points. Still 30-40. Still 2 break opportunities here for Arce and Del Bianco. And they'll want an early break. Of course, every team wants an early break. It's that early decisive advantage, usually, that you're able to hold, particularly in tight matches. So, looking for the mistakes. There's the mistake. There's the break. Arce and Del Bianco now need 2 games to 0. Del Bianco will serve. And all of a sudden, Juan de Pascual, Matias de Moral are scratching their heads. There's Juan de Pascual talking to umpire Nuno Moreira. Not quite sure what he was talking to him about. But as Del Bianco goes to serve to Juan de Pascual, it is 2-love in the first set. $15-love. Straight Del Bianco there to the feet of De Moral. Just can't quite get movement off his feet and not enough lift with his racket. Umpire calling time. New innovation by the A1 Padel for the 2024 season. The countdown for serving. Del Bianco into the tin there, getting the awkward bounce, bamboozling De Moral. You see the countdown there on your screens, just below the scoreboard. And umpires not yet penalizing players when they exceed it, but certainly calling time and making them aware of the delays. $40-love. Arce well defended once, twice. De Pascual unable to finish towards the direction of Arce. This time Del Bianco goes high in the direction of De Moral, but into the glass. 40-15. Bianco with the interception there, looking for the tin. Lots of work recently in training by Franco Del Bianco regards the use of the side fence. And 3-love is the scoreline as we take a small commercial. The illusion moves us. The sport gives us passion. That is Padel. And of course, Padel, the big love of the Monte Carlo Sports Group. President Mr. Fabrice Pastrol, also the founder of the A1 Padel Global Tour, one of the driving forces behind the advancement of Padel globally. And Monte Carlo Sports, of course, a big promoter of the development of sport and the promotion of young players, just like Juan Di Pasquale. You'll see on his shirt the Monte Carlo International Sports logo on, and a lot of the young players, not just on the A1 Padel Global Tour, but throughout the world of paddle, relying and taking advantage of the support provided by the Monte Carlo Sports International Group. Matias de Moral on serve, 15 love. This is the second semi-final of this A1 Padel Global Galicia Open. 3 games to love down in this first set to Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco. Love 30. And if you've just joined us, my name is Paulo de Carmo, here for you in English for the A1 Padel Global Tour, the A1 Galicia Open. And if you're watching or listening to me on the YouTube channel, the A1 Padel Global YouTube channel, have a look on the top right-hand side of your comments for the online poll as to who you will think will win this A1 Padel Galicia Open. And you'll be able to put your votes there. Overwhelming favorites, Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso at well over 60%. But don't underwrite Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, who are 22% of you who have entered the poll give a chance to win this tournament. So certainly heavy favorites, Aguirre and Alfonso, but Arce and Del Bianco not without a chance. And also 9% of the votes go in the way of De Moral and Di Pasquale. The stage, not looking good. And there are 4 break points on offer here for Arce and Del Bianco as they look to go 4-0 up. And they do in this first set of the second semi-final. And having watched Arce and Del Bianco in the last couple of tournaments, particularly the last one at San Lucar de Barrameda, body language very different to back then. As I said earlier, I spoke to Maxi Arce earlier in the week, and he was telling me how much work they're putting in, extra hours they're putting in on court, talking about game management with their coaching staff, and talking about big match temperament. And seems like it's paying off. Certainly, the body language is completely different to what we saw in the last 2 tournaments, and they're playing with decisive positivism here in this second semi-final of the Pontevedra Open. Franco Del Bianco moves right across, exposes himself to the left, well dealt with. Matias de Moral goes for the rulo. Arce well defended. Big hit. Juan Di Pasquale doesn't get it. And the finish. This is building up to be an exciting point. De Moral with a big kick. Doesn't get it right. Arce doesn't finish. And this time, Juan Di Pasquale with the face off finds Franco Del Bianco one thing. Banger, banger. One for the highlight reel for sure. Because De Moral with that big rulo. Arce, well defended. Here comes the lob. De Moral goes big again. Leaves it short. And there's the finish from Di Pasquale. Less space. Not always a bad idea. Love 15. 15 all. A little fortunate there, Juan Di Pasquale. But they all count. 30-15. First service. Big hit there from Franco Del Bianco, completely misguided that. Sniper got his sights misguided there, misdirected, straight into the back glass. Arce goes to Di Pasquale. Arce with a change of direction there. Well defended by Juan Di Pasquale. This time the rulo from Di Pasquale, perfect. Ball dipping right at the end of that double wall. See, perfectly executed. Takes the first bounce, second bounce. Ball just dipping out of reach there of Franco Del Bianco. 30-40. 2 break points on offer here, which will allow De Moral and Di Pasquale back into the game. 2 break opportunities. Arce sends the lob again, first, second. Bianco attempts a little dink, doesn't quite get it right. This one is Pasquale with yet another beautiful rulo. Well defended, big gap there as Del Bianco runs across the court to the net to try and cover. And great finish there, Juan Di Pasquale, knowing all his class and a maturity above his years, finding the gap, finishing the point, and on the board they are with the break. And as players go off, we're going to take a listen to the benches, but the score is now 4-1 to Arsenal.
El primer punto fue Globo y el último punto fue Globo.
Yo no sé cuál me dijiste que tiré Globo ahí.
Cuando nos ganaron el primer 15.
Claro, pero no sé, no recuerdo.
Sí. Picó y tiraste para arriba. Entonces, esa la jugamos para abajo y le hacemos un paso para adelante. Recuerden que Del Moral está siempre un paso más atrás.
Perfecto.
Entonces, cuando nosotros jugamos por abajo, le comemos la cancha. Le cerramos un paso más. Si viene, la aguantamos. Porque si la aguantamos, le ganamos el punto. ¿Ok? Si le tiramos el globo, desde ahí nos empiezan a complicar un poquito.
No me voy a centrar tanto en el globo para irlo a Maxi, porque le está haciendo un poco de daño con la flecha. Entonces, ¿qué voy a hacer? Lo voy a limpiar a Fran. Cuando me quede claro, le voy a sacar una Maxi, 2 a Maxi, cambio para el lado de Fran. No me voy a centrar tanto en él porque está haciendo daño con la flecha.
El globo va bien largo a Maxi, va bien largo, se vuelve a chicar. Pero hablemos de otra cosa. O sea, yo creo que acá hay un problema de actitud. O sea, hay una pareja que hasta ahora tiene un hambre de ganar estos locos y nosotros pareciera que no. Que llegamos acá y ya estamos conformes. Estamos en la semifinal y ya estamos conformes.
No, vamos a ganar.
No digas apagado porque me caliento. Bueno, vamos entonces, vamos a ganar todo.
Vamos a ganar.
Demuéstranlo, vamos.
Dale, vamos a ganar.
Recién arranca el partido, dale. Como jugarme el tenis.
Este sí vamos a ganar, papá, dale. Este es el quiero.
Dale, gordo, dale, papá. Dale, papá, dale.
Este, dale.
Dale, rompe, con decisión, Dale, Juaní. Dale con decisión, vamos.
Players back on court there, and you saw there Juan Di Pasquale and Matias de Moral's coach, who happens to be Juan Di Pasquale's father, Mr. Di Pasquale Sr., telling them, don't worry about the scoreline, you're serving now, you win this, you're back in the game at 2-4, and it's just 1 break. So get out there and do what you're doing up to now, you're playing well. Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco will have none of that. They're feeling confident. They can not necessarily break, but just force their advantage through and get this first set over the line. Beautiful hit there by Del Bianco. Off the back foot, off balance. He does that so well. That left a little short. Arce chooses not to finish down the middle, goes to the side. And Juan Di Pasquale equal to the task. Fortunate bounce off the top of the net there. But this time, Matias de Moral uses the back wall. Not enough pace, not enough lift. And Franco Del Bianco says, thank you so much. You can see there, he gets that, not enough lift. And Franco Del Bianco in the perfect position. Great indicator there for players out there at all levels. Get to the net when you've got the players at the back of the court on the defensive, particularly facing away from the net. Make sure you're in your own position for that return. A little bit of taka-taka there at the net. And Del Bianco into the net. 15 all. Pasquale just missing there. Perfect. Maxi Arce getting away with the proverbial crime there. Leaves that just a little bit short, just a little bit low, and Juan Pascual just misses that. Just can't quite get there. 15-30 is the scoreline. You know, we spoke about body language of Arce and Del Bianco coming into this tournament after the Sanlúcar de Barrameda, where they were looked a little bit out of depth, a little bit unfocused and unconcentrated. Previous tournament to that, French Open, France Open, where at Beausoleil, where they looked in peak condition, fighting hard, bravery, big match temperament, which is one of their trademarks at its best. They won that tournament. That was a big win, beating Tolito and Gonzalo Alfonso in a thrilling three-setter. And yet, not quite carrying that through to Sanlúcar de Barrameda. Went out there in the quarterfinals, this time in a reversal of form with Tito Alemande and Rami Pereira in a epic three-setter, 3.5-hour game that was, and so glad to see that their body language looking a little bit more positive, and we're seeing a little bit more of what we saw in that France Open Tour tournaments ago. After all, these players were the number one ranked players by quite a distance for an extended period of time in 2022, a large part of it, and then 2023, the whole of 2023, and of course the early stages of 2024. Gonzalo Alfonso now, of course, the official number one, but number two, still Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco. And they'll be looking to get back onto that podium pretty shortly. Because they were quite a little bit too clever, perhaps, taking the pace off that, changing directions, just trying to loop it over the net there to Maxi Arce's side of the court. And that didn't quite do its job. Ball got left behind. You can see there. We'll see shortly. There we go. He tries to get round to the blind side of Maxi Arce, but goes into the net. Not quite what he was looking for. 5-1 is now the scoreline, as opposed to what Di Pasquale Senior was looking for. He was looking for a 4-2 scoreline. Instead, 5-1. And Franco Del Bianco is going to just look to hold his serve and try to wrap up this first set in what the scoreline says is emphatic fashion. Del Bianco straight into the fence. Love 15. Morale patient into the air. Pascual moves up well. And this time the Morale can't get the defense right. Into the glass, 15 all. 30-15. Maxi Arce full power there into the body of Matias de Moral. Of course, no malice intended there in those shots. Immediately hand goes up. An apology, it's part of the game. No harm done, no harm meant. And that one there by Matias de Moral, over carrying into the glass, and immediately Matias de Moral, head down, racket down. Not what Juan Pascual wants to see. Reaches out to him immediately, says, don't worry about that. Let's get up, head up. It's just the first set. It's not the first three-setter we've played in. 40-15 as Del Bianco goes to Juan Pascual. Change of direction there from Arce. Arce goes straight into the pin. That's the set, 6-1. Maxi Arce, Franco Del Bianco. And Juan Pascual Sr. will be having a chat with Junior and Matias de Moral.
Y primer set para Torre Aguirre por 6-1.
Que ha puesto el 15 iguales. Dominando la red, una y otra, Andrés Britos. Buen globo de Gonza Alfonso, tiene que salir, recupera bien Fede Chostri, el punto empieza de nuevo, pero la red es para la pareja 2 de APT. Uy, qué bueno ese blocaje de Fede Chostri, llega de nuevo Alfonso, este punto es tremendo, punto para Gonzalo Alfonso, tuvieron oportunidades todos, el más listo de la clase fue el jugador de...
Uy, se cayó otra vez. La recupera Alfonso. La recupera Chiostri. El punto del partido.
Uy, si lo gana.
Definición.
What wonderful memories there on your screen. 3 puntacos from the APT era. Of course, the A1 Padel Global Tour, a name change in early 2022 from the APT Tour to the A1 Padel Global Tour. And some familiar faces there in those puntacos. Gonzalo Alfonso and Federico Chiostri playing as a pairing, each one with a puntaco. Set summary here, and the tale of the tape once again tells the story as we see unforced errors, only the one golden point, and the numbers overwhelmingly on the side of Del Bianco and Arce winners. And back on court, you can see there already Del Bianco and Arce, they mean business. They want to get this over and done with. They'd like to have an easy 2-setter and save energies for tomorrow's epic final, where they would be taking on Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. What would be the second time this year in a final. Of course, Juan Pascual and Matias de Moral will not just be allowing that. They'll be working hard to perhaps steal this second set and force a third where anything could happen. Love 15. Pasquale looking to push Maxi Arce out of the way. Doesn't quite get it right, but Matthias de Moral does, and Maxi Arce's return goes straight into the tin. You see that pick up there, ball spinning off the glass, then angling in the opposite direction off his racket there. As Arce looks for the corner, very successfully, well-measured lob. Pasquale off the back foot, and perfect ruler once again. He's done 2 or 3 of those already in this match and done them to perfection. There we go, look at that. Off the tin, rises up and dips just before it reaches the second wall. Very, very difficult shot to defend. Perfectly executed by Juan Pasquale, not once, but multiple times in this match thus far. There, and Matthias de Moral had the measure of that. Unfortunately, the ball hit at pace by Franco Del Bianco, and the block over carries into the back glass. A lot of potential in this partnership of De Moral and Di Pasquale. They have only played 2 tournaments together, and I, for one, honestly hope that they stick it out as a partnership. That finish there from Pasquale, just hanging around at the net for Arce to finish. Here we go. Doesn't quite clear the net. Arce in perfect positioning to whack it into the ground and out of the court. So I was saying De Moral and Pasquale show signs of brilliance, and once the chemistry gels, I think they could be a pair to be reckoned with, particularly because Matthias De Moral is multi-talented on both, or multi-able on both sides of the court. Juan Di Pasquale, although playing on the right-hand side of the court, is a left-handed player who defends as well as he can finish. So it could be exciting for these two as a pair. Golden point, first golden point of the second set. And De Moral and Pasquale have not won a golden point yet. We're looking to change that. And they do win that one. And Matthias De Moral gets Franco Del Bianco on his back foot, and Del Bianco tries to hook that into the tin. Unfortunately goes into the top edge of the net. You can see there, moving backwards, off balance, and ball just fails to clear the net. And you can see there, Juan Di Pasquale, vocal, very important at this early stage, not to drop your serve. 1-0 up on the board, and you can see they're already back on court. That got the adrenaline pumping, and they'll want more of that. They'll want a lot more of that. There's Gonzalo Alfonso and Torito Aguirre already showered and groomed after their semi-final just before this one, watching which one of these two teams would be potentially their opponents in the final tomorrow. That final, of course, 16:30 local time here in Spain, in Pontevedra, and will be available via all our important network broadcasting channels in your region, and you can check out our social media for details on that, or you can just visit the www.a1paddleglobal.com website, streaming tab, or visit the A1 Paddle Global YouTube channel, where there will be commentary available both in Spanish and in English with myself, Paulo de Carmo, who will be keeping you company for that final. Exciting final, whichever one of these two teams joins, Torito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso in it. And we look forward to that as Franco Del Bianco disagrees with us, goes into the net and says, okay, that didn't work out as planned, especially after those exchanges. Andy Pasquale and De Moral are not giving this up without a fight. De Moral's head, you'll remember we talked about racket down, head down. Racket's very much up. Head is very much up. Moral first with a drop shot, moving Arce, and then finishing the point with a slap at the net. So yeah, there's a drop shot. Arce moves to the net, and then the power through by Matias De Moral. You can see he wants it. 3 break points on offer here. As Arce goes down the middle, Juan de Pasquale into the air. And Franco Del Bianco tries the route. The break is on. Juan de Pasquale and Matias De Moral find themselves 2-0 up in this second set. There we go, Del Bianco into the tin. And you can see the aggression now from De Moral and De Pasquale. Matias De Moral gone quickly to wipe his racket with a towel, the handle, and collect a set of new balls from umpire Nuno Moreira. 9 games have been played, so new balls introduced, and those new balls knocks titanium. Knocks the official ball for the Global Tour for 2024. Excellent balls. If you get yourself a tin of those and play with them, you'll find them long-lasting and well-performing. Titanium Noxes, or Nox Titanium as they're known. There's the Moral to the feet of Franco Del Bianco there, who can't quite lift the ball. 15 love. A slap there from De Moral, and Arce with a block. Ball just carrying a little bit too much to the bottom end of the glass on the opposite side. Arce and Del Bianco are thinking this is not exactly going to script. And De Moral and De Pasquale thinking they can mount a comeback here. 30-15 as Matias De Moral goes to Franco Del Bianco. This time it's Juan de Pasquale who goes for the big slap. A little bit too far from the net perhaps for that type of shot. Badly angled, goes into the top edge of the net. He's clearly disappointed with himself. 30 all. He's bouncing the ball. He's disappointed with himself. That was an error for sure on his part. Taka here at the net. Del Bianco. De Moral gets the lift, doesn't quite take advantage of it. More Taka. Both teams at the net. Becoming an aggressive game. Fakes smash there by De Moral. Well defended, Franco Del Bianco. Change of direction. Franco Del Bianco. The kick there from Maxi Arce. Gets away with it. Juan de Pasquale well positioned, but almost ran too far as the ball dipped just short of where he's standing. Crowd applauds the effort. It's the big hit there, Maxi Arce. Juan de Pasquale is out. Ball comes out just behind him. He tries to turn, loses his balance and finds the ground instead. You can see there the reaction from the crowd as he hits the deck. Just behind him, he tries to turn, not quite there. And then we see the young children with their moms saying, son, don't try this at home. trying to take the pace off that volley. Del Bianco with a big kick. Just out of reach there of Juan Pascual, and the counter break immediately on the cards as Arce and Del Bianco break back after Maxi Arce was broken previously. 2-1 is the scoreline. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with you in a jiffy.
Al servicio Franco. Iguales.
Del Bianco there, a little bit more assertive, but the error going into the net. 15-30 is the scoreline. 30 all. Franco Bianco goes down the middle to Juan Pascual, changes direction once at the net. That augurs well for all young people in their coaching. Serve, get to the net. Big hit from Del Arce. The kick smash. Well defended, Maxi Arce. Puntaco. Banga, banga. Big kick there. Maxi Arce, Castilla goes, boom, out of the court. Juan Pascual, well positioned, sends it back in. Unable to find the net, and Arce in position, just angling it towards the empty side of the court. And Matias Moral nowhere near it. No hope either of getting anywhere near it. 40-30. Arce there with a big one. Doesn't quite finish it. And this time Juan Pascual finally gets that swivel into the ground at the net and forces the golden point. Very vital, this golden point. Arce and Del Bianco will not want to be broken here. And of course, it is a break opportunity for De Moral and De Pascual. Particularly as De Pascual and De Moral look to do something about this the second set, and maybe force a third one. Bianco and Arce would not want to be broken, would want to get back into the swing of things here. This is building up to be an epic point. He leaves that one short, De Moral. Arce forgives him, doesn't quite finish. Goes for the rule off the fence. This time it's Del Bianco with the finish. Takes the power off, gets the right amount of kick. And Juan Pascual and Matias De Moral, hands on head once again as the score goes 2-2. You can see they just can't get there. Matias De Moral, good kick from that shot by Franco Del Bianco. 2-2, and the advantage lost by De Moral and Juan Pascual. Crucial now as Juan Pascual goes to serve that he holds the serve. Crucial part of the game. Here's the Moral after that taka-taka. Gets aggressive. Ball stays low into the net. Love 15. Here's the Moral, goes for the big spin, finish there. Big slap into the ground. Completely misses it. 15-30 is the scoreline. Moral trying to push Maxi Arce back. Maxi finds the angle, cross court. Half volley there of Juan de Pascual. Tempts him with the lower shot. Juan de Pascual goes for the big finish. Straight into the net. You see there. Right height. But wrong positioning for Juan de Pascual. And there are 3 break opportunities here for Arce and Del Bianco at 15-40. As we said prior to the starting, crucial part of the match, this one. Pascual goes for the big one. Gets it just right. Arce out of court. Ball stays inside the court. Disconnect there between ball and player. 30-40 is now the scoreline. Still 2 break points available. Arce and Del Bianco will not be panicking here. They'll feel confident that one of these 2 can go their way. Particularly as Juan de Pascual is serving. And his first serve percentages not been good so far this game. Here's the second one. Bianco over the head of the Moral, who tries to push Arce back. And Arce looks for the angle, goes into the top of the net. He's not happy with himself. You can hear him talking about patience. Needs to have patience. Golden point. Franco Del Bianco, hand up. He's going to be taking it. There's that first serve of the Moral, not getting through. Second serve, Del Bianco again goes over the head of De Moral. De Moral goes for the big hit. Del Bianco anticipates, in position at the net, into the ground and out of the court. The break is on. 3-2 for Arce and Del Bianco. There's Del Bianco perfectly positioned on the run. And the lift wasn't there. Finishes the point. Straight out of court and to the benches. 3-2 up. Arce and Del Bianco, second set. They'll come out ball in hand, looking to press this advantage.
Era para quebrado, boludo.
Exactamente, tal cual.
Mala suerte, boludo. Le estamos tirando tortas y saca encima todas las pelotas.
Tal cual. Igualmente, yo creo que estamos bien concentrados para no pasar el tiro del final, porque la terminamos errando nosotros. Fíjate que el tiro del final lo damos nosotros. ¿Qué sentido, Juanito?
Nada, lo mismo que ustedes. No puedo decir mucho.
Vamos a luchar, no lo tiremos, ¿eh? Vamos a poner.
Soy yo, Juan, la veo clarísima para pegarle, le pegué.
Está perfecto, última. ¿Qué se va a hacer, boludo? Está perfecto.
¿La viste?
La veo, para mí fue globo corto, boludo.
Está muy bien lo que hiciste.
No estamos ligando, boludo, no estamos ligando. Está, dale.
No estamos ligando nosotros, que ellos están ligando todas.
Vamos a seguir metiendo huevos, va a caer, dale.
Vamos a lucharla. Vamos a lucharla con la cabeza arriba, vamos a ser positivos. Vamos a ganar este partido.
Dale, vamos a esta, una que liguemos, vamos a empezar a agarrar confianza. Dale.
Estoy seguro que pegamos.
Vale, dale.
Dame tu saque más.
Vamos a lucharlo, Vamos a lucharlo.
Viene que malo.
Confianza.
Sí. Viene muy poco, pero cuando viene, acuérdate que lo tenés que quemar.
De tiro.
Lo tenés que
tener otra opción que estima atrás. Ahí mantenemos la red nosotros. Vamos.
Bien. Insisto, nuestro cambio de ritmo está por abajo. Y ahí nos metemos, ¿ok? Vamos. Seguimos metidito, ¿eh? Vamos acá, ¿eh? Vamos, macho, ¿eh?
Arce and Del Bianco feeling confident they can press this advantage home now. Pascual and Moral angry with themselves. They're letting it slip. They feel capable. They feel they can do this. That they can get the second set in the bag. It's still early part of the set. Granted, it is a crucial part. But as Arce goes to serve, 3-2 up. One set in the back pocket already. this could be the defining part of the match. Off the wall there again by Juan Pascual. And Del Bianco's smash doesn't quite get the lift. De Moral almost overruns it. His timing just off. The height is right. The swing is right. It's the timing that is just off. You can see there, not enough lift there, Del Bianco. And the ball just flies a little bit faster than what Matias de Moral can swing. 15-all is the scoreline. Excellent block there by Del Bianco. There's a ruler by Arce. Eludes. Down the middle goes Del Bianco. Splits. De Moral and Di Pasquale. And not a lot anyone can do about that. Out of reach of both players. Perfectly placed down the middle. Excellent shot, Franco Del Bianco. Not always about power, positioning, and control. Fundamental in the sport of paddle. Del Bianco with the first one, well executed, well defended. Matias de Moral, Del Bianco frustrated, goes for bigger power even, and straight into the net. 30-all. Arce unable to finish that. Juan Di Pasquale measuring his lobs, looking for Arce. Arce with a bajada down the middle. Well defended there, Juan Di Pasquale. Arce seems to have gotten the gist of Di Pasquale's rulos. Locked two of them in a row there. Here comes another one, doesn't quite make it out of the court. Arce anticipates well. This time, a lot of patience. Perfect example of patience does the trick. Just one more ball. Just one more ball. It's all you've got to get over in the sport of paddle. Just one more. And that's exactly what both these teams were looking for. And that Matias de Moral, unfortunately, could not get that just one more over the net. And the point goes the way of Arce and Del Bianco. 40-30 is the scoreline. This time, Juan Pascual goes for that rulo. Doesn't get it over the net. And 2-4 is the scoreline. And after all that effort in the last two games, Juan Di Pasquale and Matias de Moral must be feeling a little dejected that this wall that Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco build of consistency and directness cannot be breached. At their best, Franco Del Bianco and Maxi Arce are just so consistent and devoid of error that makes it so difficult to get points out of these two, and particularly to break them or achieve crucial points at crucial times. 15 love.
iguales.
Excellent point there. Banger of a point that was there. Excellent defending there, Juan de Pascual, not once or twice or three times. And Franco Del Bianco not really able to do much with that off the third one. A little bit of surprise, a little bit of effectiveness. 30 all. Thirty 40. Matthias de Moral with a little bit more power in that vibra. Franco Del Bianco straight into the glass. Golden point, 40 all. A lot of power there from Franco Del Bianco. Ball just going into the glass. Maxiarsi receiving. Moral getting behind. Del Bianco there. And this time the ruler from Juan de Pascual is absolutely perfect. And they get the golden point. And a little bit of the deficit clawed back. 4-3 the scoreline. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll tell you about the prospects, the permutations, and what can happen.
Aparece el extraterrestre Leonel Aguirre.
Bueno. Ay, Dios. Muñequita de oro.
And we're back, as we see on screen there, Franco Del Bianco putting that away in emphatic fashion. we go. Maxi Arce looking for the lob. Franco Del Bianco serving 4-3 up in the second set. Not a time to panic yet for Arce and Del Bianco. Still with an advantage, although perhaps we'll look at the loss of the golden point in the previous match as a little disappointment, and they'll be looking to hold the serve and look to at some point serve out this second set. Juan Pascual, of course, will have none of that. He's not giving up this easily. It's his first semi-final with Matias de Moral this season. He's third of the season. He hasn't been in a final yet. He wants to be in one. Matias de Moral hasn't even been in a semi-final. This is his first one. And they're going to be making sure that they have a new experience, that they really enjoy the moment and not just give it away. 15-all the scoreline. Franco Del Bianco to Juan de Pascual. There's the Moral there with the intersection at the center of the court, or rather the intervention at the intersection. Taking the pace off the ball with that block. Franco Del Bianco, peg-rooted, unable to even move to get close to that. Del Bianco with a big smack. Out of court. Franco Del Bianco sporting that precious sleeve on his right arm. Umpire Nuno Moreira calling for time. Players taking a little long. Once again, Juan de Pascual, Matias de Moral spending too much time in consultation and breaching their time limits. Maxi Arce hard to the body of Juan de Pascual. Little disagreements there between Juan de Pascual and umpire Nuno Moreira. Juan de Pascual feeling maybe a little getting picked on, but at the end of the day, rules are rules, and Juan de Pascual is abusing them with his time. Exuberance of youth, I suppose. Only 19 years of age. Unable to lift that one over the net. And Arce and Del Bianco take the lead, 5-3. And Juan de Pascual will now serve. Right now, that conversation on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there between Del Bianco and Arce will be, no panic, let's just play our game. We lose this one, we're still 5-4 up, and we can serve out the set and the match. That is exactly what they're saying to each other from a strategic perspective. Of course, it would be nice to break and clean it up earlier, but no problem whatsoever if they don't win this game and break Juan de Pascual and Matias de Moral. 15-love as De Pasquale gets ready to go to Franco Del Bianco. Straight to the feet. This time, Matias de Moral into the back glass, 15-all. Once again, that first serve of Juan de Pascual not having its desired effect. Very high percentage of the first ones don't make it over when Juan de Pascual serves. And that time there, the little Chiquita. Getting in the way of Juan de Pascual's thought process. He planned a different defense shot. Didn't quite get it. 15-30 is the scoreline. Please ignore what you see on your screen. Goes for the drop shot. Arce equal to the task. Juan de Pascual, perhaps a little mistake. Gets away with it. Should have finished when Arce was out of position. Goes the other way to Del Bianco. But after another exchange, Del Bianco goes into the net. Fortunate there for Juan de Pascual. 30 all the scoreline. De Pascual to go to Maxi Arce. Yet another first serve. Not as effective as he wants them to be. Morale a little bit more power on that bandeja. Bad angle off the glass there. Maxi Arce uses the glass. Ball skews away and out of court. 40-30. As we mentioned, Del Bianco and Arce will not be too phased about dropping this game. There's another first serve going, this time Millet. Down he goes. Del Bianco with a high lob. Arce through the middle. Matias de Moral in the direction of Del Bianco. Del Bianco with a block. Ball flies straight into the back glass. A lot of power there in those three shots from Matias de Moral. 5-4. We'll listen to what the benches have to say, and when we come back, a crucial game in this match.
Globo de calidad y elegimos globo,
sí,
¿no?
Sí, sí, sí.
Si no laburamos como venimos. ¿Tá? Lo que quiero
Franco me da muchos respiros también cuando le tiro globo, boludo.
Ok, le podemos devolver a Franco también, ¿eh?
Sí, porque de ahí yo lo puedo sacar más cómodo a Maxi, ¿entendés?
Ok.
Si no sé qué probar ahora, ¿querés que pruebe? El globo un poquito más la tepa que Maxi tire víbora y vos puedas
ya no
subir.
hay momento de probar. Hay que ser valiente, estamos 5-4.
Sí, pero escuchá. Si yo le tiro globo palero, te tira muy bien el gancho, vos bloqueas muy abajo. Pero estás bloqueando bien a lo que voy, que por ahí le puedo tirar más a la T.
Adelante.
Sí,
no.
Más la T, tiene
Si
que ir
doy
globo.
un paso más puedo corregir, pero igualmente laburamos. Vamos con el globo pinchado. El globo de calidad, cualquiera de los dos, no necesariamente a Maxi.
Ellos están 5-4. Se van a venir, si nosotros estamos en posición de ataque, ellos se van a venir los dos. Estén atentos para pasar el informe y los quemamos adelante.
Dale.
Si el globo, sigamos ordenado con el planteo que propusimos de temprano. Pero si el globo es de calidad, esperen que suban a bolear. Y una vez que estamos delante buscamos.
Jugamos con primer saque.
¿Vamos? ¿Vamos?
Vamos a cerrar la cama, vamos. Uno más. Vamos, Vamos. Vale.
Al servicio Maximiliano.
Juan Pascual on his knees there. 15 love. Crowd giving him a round of applause as he tries to get to the net to defend that shot. The ball flies away to the opposite direction. 30 love. Yes, Maxi Arce is looking to wrap up this set and match. Goes to serve to Juan de Pascual. 30 love up, 5-4 in the second set. On serve, 6-1, having won the first set. Professional display here by Arce and Del Bianco. Juan de Pascual, Matias de Moral, great defense. Big smile there, Juan de Pascual. Looks like Matias de Moral touched that net there. He didn't, 30-15. This time it's Juan de Pascual who goes on the swivel straight into the side fence. 40-15. Game, set, and match point on offer here as Maxi Arce serves to Juan de Pascual. Leaves that lob short. Franco Del Bianco locks and loads. Fires down the center. Big kick at the east side of the court. Franco Del Bianco and Maxi Arce put themselves into the final of this A1 Padel Global Galicia Open tomorrow, 16:30, against Tolito Aguirre and Gonzalo Alfonso. Number ones versus number two. What more could you wish for as a spectator? Terrific final to look forward to tomorrow. And the former number ones will be taking on the current number ones. And they'll be looking to reclaim their throne, Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco. Professional approach there, just shaking the hands. There we go, Maxi Arce with a big hug there to Fabrice Pastor, the president of Monte Carlo Sports, their sponsor, as well as the founder of the A1 Padel Global Tour. Matias de Moral and Juan de Pascual, big effort here. 6-1 in the first set, not reflective of the goings-on of the match, but certainly putting up a big fight in the second set. 6-4, having won 2 golden points, and lots to be proud about. Matias de Moral's first semi-final, showing the improvement he's been working on the whole season. His first semi-final of the year, and first semi-final with Juan de Pascual. We have stats there on your screen, and as always mentioned by myself, the numbers don't lie. Golden points the way of, you'll see in this particular set, Juan de Pascual and Matias de Moral got away with the 1 golden point. The winners tell the difference for the set, and you'll see now when the match summary comes up that the overwhelming number of winners hit by Del Bianco and Arce will make all the difference. You can have a look there, and also golden points, a big advantage there. So Franco Del Bianco, Maxi Arce into the final tomorrow. Number ones versus number twos, mouth-watering. And, of course, that'll be here at 16:30 at local time, Spanish time. We're going to go to Claudio Navarro on court for the interview.
Mañana para la gran final, Maxi. Quiero que me hables un poco de las sensaciones del partido, porque era la primera vez que os enfrentabais ante la dupla Juan de Pascual y Matías del Moral.
Bueno, primero buenas tardes a todos, gracias por estar acá, la verdad que un ambiente increíble. Estamos muy felices de jugar por primera vez en Galicia, espero que se repita muchos años. Y bueno, nada, sabíamos que era un partido muy difícil porque ellos, ante cualquier globo corto, proponen mucho del smash con las víboras. Sabíamos que teníamos que estar muy concentrados en defensa, la clave iba a pasar por ahí. Y bueno, creo que hicimos un muy buen partido con pocos errores, así que felices porque nuestro nivel, sobre todo en canchas indoor, está siendo muy bueno, así que hay que seguir demostrándolo y nos queda un pasito más.
Y llevamos toda la semana hablando de que decíais que estabais en un muy buen nivel. ¿Tú crees que hay algo más a mejorar o no?
Sí, siempre. Por ahí tenemos momentos de desconexiones, empezamos quiebra abajo con poca intensidad, pero bueno, creo que es normal porque el primer set entramos al 110 y cuando bajás un poquito ellos lo aprovechan, son muy peligrosos, pero bueno, pudimos reaccionar rápido. Tenemos que intentar equilibrar esos picos que tenemos, pero bueno, ahora disfrutar la final.
Y Franco, mañana la última batalla y no solo está en juego el título, sino también el número 1 como pareja.
Bueno, no somos nosotros si no jugamos con presión, así que nos gusta este nuevo desafío. Pero bueno, contento de llegar a la final. Había que jugar un partido casi a la perfección o perfecto, así como lo jugamos para ganarle a estos dos monstruos. Pero bueno, contento de sacarnos la espinita de Sanlúcar, ahora una final, disfrutándola con el equipo y bueno, muy contento por todo.
¿Cómo son las sensaciones para mañana? ¿Cómo crees que va a ser o qué puede pasar?
Nada, que caiga donde tenga que caer, nosotros vamos a dar el máximo, que es lo que venimos haciendo durante todos estos años. Vamos a tratar de disfrutar el partido, que sea un gran espectáculo para todo el público y bueno, tratar de disfrutarlo y mantener el 1.
Pues gracias chicos, enhorabuena y nos vemos mañana en la final a las 4:30.
Here we go. The winners, Maxi Arce and Franco Del Bianco, talking about how they focused very strongly on defense and reducing errors. The pressure is not going to get to them for tomorrow. Looking forward to tomorrow's game. And as Maxi Arce stated there, just un pasito más, one more step. And that's the professional approach that Franco Del Bianco and Maxi Arce bring to the sport of paddle. Just one more step, just one more ball. And of course, that was the win. 6-1 and 6-4 over Juan de Pascual and Matias de Moral. I'm going to sign off. My name is Paulo de Carmo here for the A1 Paddle Global Tour English commentary. And we'll see you tomorrow, 16:30 local time, right here at the A1 Paddle Galicia Open in Pontevedra. And looking forward to seeing you then. Au revoir, good night, buenas noches.